Good morning. Okay, today I want to remind you you need to go to all sides. There are all different types of headlines here: vaccines, big tech platforms. Um, interestingly, Angela Merkel from Germany and some other bigwig people have come out with comments on the Twitter censorship of President Trump. So anyway, I'm just very intrigued to see how that's going to play out within our government. Like what's going to happen is there will be a law passed eventually that has something to say about this. Probably, maybe not right now, but eventually, because law takes time. Um, so we're still on the excerpt from "Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God" by Jonathan Edwards. If you don't remember what Jonathan Edwards looks like, he had the curly hair, kind of long nose, looked a little grumpy. Okay, and he was great at painting a picture for his audience, right? He used imagery to the excess almost. So if you think about yesterday, what we did, what you did, and I did my own kind of version of this, right? It had the chart at the bottom and you had the different, rhetorical devices like tone and diction, figurative language. So within figurative language, I intentionally left off imagery because I think that there is so much imagery here that it deserves its own little side hustle moment with Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. Okay? So if you read through the text, whenever I think of imagery, I think of words that literally paint a picture for a purpose. Okay, so it's not just words that are painting a picture, to tell you how pretty the landscape is. Maybe it's to have a calming effect on the audience. Maybe it's to offer intensity. Maybe it's usually people, when we are inundated or when we experience some sort of sensation, touch, taste, smell, sight, hearing, whatever it is, whenever we experience that, we're more likely to remember it. We're likely to have an emotional connection to us. So imagery is often associated with pathos, and all pathos is a fancy Latin word that means emotion. Okay? So I want to clarify and say that I should never hear you say the word pathos. I should always hear you say what specific emotion. For example, fear, joy, embarrassment, right? There should always be a specific fear that's tied to it. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm feeling pathos." Well, right now I'm feeling pathos too, but who knows what that means, right? It could mean myriad things because there are so many different emotions. And so today you guys are gonna have, you're gonna complete a little chart, something like this. I don't have it printed one, the actual one that I'm gonna send out. But what you're gonna do in this activity for today is you're going to find the text, the direct quote where you see the image. Okay, where Jonathan Edwards, I almost said Swift. He's a different Jonathan that you don't even know about yet. We will get there, but not yet. You will actually put in a direct quote from the text. So you'll see here on the screen, like if you're reading through, let's say the first one, right? The devil is waiting for them, hell is gaping for them, the flames gather and flash about them, and would fain lay hold on them and swallow them up. The fire pent up in their own hearts is struggling to break out, and they have no interest in any mediator. There are no means within reach that can be any security to them. Okay, so maybe I would talk about the heart, the fire within the heart that's trying to escape, and I might think of prison walls or a cage around my heart that's holding in that fire. So you would, first of all, you would literally write the quote of the fire pent up in their own hearts is struggling to break out. You would put that in quotation marks in the first fill in column. And then in the second column, you would say, what does that do? Okay. It makes you, you can't use this example, right? But it makes you reflect on, is my heart evil? Do I have that fire inside of me? Like you become really introspective and really reflective. You have some metacognitive moments where you're thinking through your thinking. You're thinking about, okay, if he's saying this about my heart, and I've always thought that I was a good person, one of us is wrong, right? There's a disconnect somewhere. And so it would require introspection. Now, there's some questions here: why, how, and so what. It could be any of those questions. It doesn't have to be all of them. So really what I want you to do is I want you to identify the image, And then I want you to explain its purpose. What is its effect? What is it going to do to the audience? Okay. And I'll also say that you're probably going to have some purposes that overlap, some purposes that you can, I'm not going to say duplicate entirely, but don't feel like you have to reinvent the wheel. If the purpose works for more than one image, feel free to use it for more than one image. Okay. And then after you guys do that, tomorrow what you're going to do is you're going to choose one of the images that you talk about today. So one of the ones that you're going to find from the text out of the 4 that you're going to do, and out of the 4 that you talk about the purpose, that you say, why is this important? What emotion is this connecting to? How is this impacting the audience? Tomorrow you're going to choose one of those images from the text. Okay, so anywhere in these 3 pages, any text that you want. You're going to choose one of those, and you're going to illustrate the image. Okay, you're going to illustrate the image. This one says for you to do 2. I only want you to do 1, but I want you to do it really well. Okay, and I'm going to give you some more some more instructions tomorrow on how I want the illustration to come out, how I want it to work, some ways and some methods that you might prefer doing that, because I'm not someone who's going to sit down and draw this beautiful interpretation of, a heart that's trying to withhold fire, that's trying to contain this fiery sin. It's not gonna be a thing. Maybe it's a thing for you, and great if it is. And if it's not, you can still do it that way. Like this, I'm not gonna grade your art, but I know that I would do a better job if I had a digital option, or if we're gonna work around some alternative artistic design methods tomorrow for that assignment. Okay. So today you're looking at images, and tomorrow we're going to look at you depicting your image from one of those 4 that you have identified. Okay? All right, go team.